Warning, the material that we are about to discuss is for mature audiences only. So if you are underage or too much of a special child who needs a blanket, please turn off the film now. Thank you, and this has been your warning. What's up, my noobs? It's your boy the Noob, and I'm back from Katsucon, and boy did I have fun. Woo! I got something I gotta share with you. Now, when it comes to the world of anime and manga, there's a few things that are kind of, everyone agrees on. When it comes to horror and revenge, anime doesn't do it well, but manga, on the other hand, can do it quite well. And I have come across a manga that, in my opinion, has been one of the best revenge stories that I have ever read and enjoyed, to the point where I'm a little concerned that I'm enjoying this revenge story. Ladies, gentlemen, and other, come along with me. Let's talk about this manga. As you know, I can't say Japanese names for the life of me, so I'm probably going to butcher this, and I do apologize to the people who've created this. The name of this manga is Kefuku Jutsushi no Yuri no Ashi. God, I hope I pronounced that right. Anyways, let me give you a scenario to think of. You're a young lad who has just become of age. You go out to find out that you have a special skill that will make you a hero. Now, most stories to be great. You're on an adventure. You're going to risk your life and save the world. This story takes a wee bit of a dark turn in the beginning. See, in this world, our main character, who's known as Kaoru, is a young lad who becomes of age and finds out that he has become a hero that can heal. Basically, a healing mage, if you were to go by RPG standard. A beautiful woman, the princess, comes out to collect him because she's collecting heroes, and you would think this would be going well, but in this story, the heroes who are healers are not that well respected. And when he tries to use his powers, he apparently can feel the pain from the people who he's healing. I don't know how to basically say this, but since he can do basically the most powerful heals, but he gets injured, they basically drug, torture, and violate him into a point where he is a mindless dog who will do anything for the drugs that they have basically forced him to take. Now, when I say they did all these bad things, I'm not talking sugarcoating. Like, when he gets injured after healing, he gets taken by a mad scientist, mage, whatever we want to call him, because they're going to do experiments on him. They start feeding him poison and drugs to where he gets addicted to the point where he'll do anything for it. And now when I say abuse, like, there are people in here, other heroes, who will take out their frustrations or their anger or even beat him because they love him, to the point where he has to heal himself. And the sick part about this is when I say violate, I basically mean rape him. Because apparently for some reason, his semen, there's no simple way to put that. Apparently it can unlock the level cap that people have. So people start to use his body to raise their level. And I'm not talking just women. There are even men, soldiers, maids. It doesn't matter. They will use him just to become more powerful and to improve themselves. Now, the story of this manga starts towards the end of the journey where they're fighting the demon lord and all that, but he has become less addicted because he was able to get a resistance to poison. As they're fighting the demon lord, they get to the point where they almost defeat him, and they call out to him to heal them, and he basically says no and starts attacking the demon lord. The secret to his healing was, even though he felt pain, he gained their memories and experience. So he got stronger and stronger. He was actually stronger than the heroes themselves. They just didn't know it. So he defeats the demon lord, and all the heroes, especially that princess who is evil, sick and evil. She thinks she's going to be able to control him But he basically took the Philosopher's Stone out of the demon's body and uses it to reset the Earth back 3 years, to the point where he just became of age and was to find out what he was. He kept his memory, and this was the point where he started his path to revenge. When I say this manga does revenge right, I mean correctly. Now, most mangas, when there's always a revenge story, or any story, not even just mangas, but animes and other stories, they usually end up still trying to be the good guy. In this, he does not. The first thing he does is he poisons himself to the point where he'll get to resistance, and then he gains another skill so he could scan people and learn their weaknesses, and then he goes through the motions. He meets the princess, he gets drugged, he gets raped by the maid. He knows all this is happening, but he's playing it out on purpose. When it comes to a night where people think he's drugged and he's basically a mutt like they thought he was, he escapes his prison. And I mean prison. They had him down below in the dungeons, in raggedy clothes, barely fed. Like I said, this is full on. They did not care. They didn't even think of him as human. But he escapes, and he goes and attacks the Sword Knight, I believe is what he's called. And he defeats him. And what he does with his healing powers, he actually modifies this guy's face to look like him. Then he modifies his own face, and he basically gives up the healer, aka the sword hero, so he can be tortured. Now the night goes on. The princess, she is trying to, say you've done a good job to the sword man, blah, blah, blah. He kills maids that were raping him right off the bat. And then this is where I started to notice it starts taking dark turns. And this is the point where, if you have been paying attention, the earlier warning said this was adult material. If you cannot handle adult material, please stop watching right now. Here's the point where I knew it was starting to take dark turns. He defeats the princess, drains her of her powers, and then he violates her. But here's the thing. He didn't go straight to rape. He actually waited because she started to say, I can't be raped by you, blah, blah, blah. The basic high and mighty people thinking that they're all that. So what does he do? He gets one of those fire pokers, sticks in the fire, lets it heat up, and tells her straight out, you're either violated by me or this burning thing. He's getting ready to physically violate her with hot steel. Of course, she does not want that, so he literally rapes her, and then he destroys her memories, rewrites her memories, and changes her appearance. When she finally wakes up later after he has escaped with her, he tells her, you're my slave and you follow me and do as I say. And he turns her into his plaything. This story is all about revenge. It goes on and on. Like, he travels. He eventually finds a slave who reminds him of himself. It's a wolf beast. He buys her and lets her have revenge. But to let her power up, he basically tells her, you have to sleep with me. And he basically sleeps with her to power her up and then helps her with her revenge. But then later on, there's even more, because a swordsman, one he healed earlier, the first one he healed that got him injured, she comes to attack this person who's been using skills like her because of honor and blah, 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 blah. He defeats her, basically convinces her to be on his side, and then drugs her using smoke and stuff to the point where she is lustful over him and starts thinking that she is in love with him. And then he sleeps with her while he's drugging her. This already is bad enough, but the reason why I want to talk about this manga was the last chapters I read. There's one more out right now, but I haven't read it yet. In the last chapters, by this point, they figured out that the hero in prison is actually the sword hero. He's escaped. He actually burned half his face because he was not happy with having to look at the hero's face in the mirror. He decided he was going to do his own little revenge on the healer hero. He goes to this guy's town, kills everyone, crucifies some of the elderly, and rapes this guy's neighbor who was kind of his first love. while wearing the face of the healer hero. Now, the healer hero, that's very hard to say, by the way, he finds out about this and gets pissed. So what does he do? He basically tricks the sword hero into a place where he can get his own revenge. Now, the sword hero comes with bodyguards and knights and all that, but the healer hero drugs the whole room and everyone passes out. Now, this part was very dark in my opinion. The healer hero decided that the sword hero would never know what it was like for his victims that he raped unless he experienced it himself. The healer hero transformed the sword hero basically into a he-she. Gave him the body of a woman, boobs, short hair, made him really cute and all that, but left his junk intact. And then he drugged all the soldiers to basically become mindless puppets who violated and raped the sword hero. And then he set the whole place on fire. So literally, the soldiers and the sword hero were either being killed by rape or by fire. This manga actually surprised me on how much I enjoyed the story of revenge in this. See, I don't like revenge stories where in the end he's still trying to be a good guy. I never hear enough about these truly dark turns in revenge stories, and this manga went down some dark roads, and it's not even done, and I have a feeling it's going to go even darker. Your main protagonist, if we can even call him that, has violated women, mutilated and murdered people, and he's not done yet. Now, one part of my brain says I should not be enjoying this, but the other part of me is excited to see what the next chapter holds. So when I find stories like this, I feel I need to share. Now, if revenge stories are not your cup of tea, this manga's not going to go for you. But if you are someone who wants to see a really good revenge story, I would like you to check this out. Now, I cannot find any hard copies of this. I've actually looked around, so you're going to have to look on the internet. Some places call it a manga, some places call it a webcomic. I am not sure which it is, but either way, go check it out if you want to see a revenge story go down some dark path. Anyways, I'm the Noob. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Come back next time. Who knows what I'll be doing. Anyways, catch you later.